Can everyone hear me? Is everyone having a good time? How good has this event been? Yeah, an amazing time, unbelievable. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are getting me through the jet lag. I've just flown in from San Francisco just to be here with you all. So thank you so much for having me. And why don't we start by just recognizing the amazing organizers of this very first World of Incentro. Let's give them a massive round of applause. Great job, guys. Okay, so my name is Peter Smaw. I'm the global head of product at Fantasy. We are a product innovation team. We work with the likes of Google, Netflix, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Mr. Elon Musk. We work with all of these amazing people to create the future with them. And that's my job today, to close the conference, because we've heard about the past, we've heard about the present, and it's my job now to talk about the future. And when people think of the future, they think about science fiction. They think about imaginary teleporters. But I'm here today to talk about the things that are really going to affect our businesses today, tomorrow, this week, this month, because that's how we think about the future very, very practically. And to start, we're going to start with a bit of an experiment. So everyone ready for an experiment? Here's how we're going to do this. I want you to reach into your pockets and pull out your mobile phone like this and hold it up in the air like this, okay? Hold your phone right up in the air. Now, has everyone got their phone? Yeah, okay, now here's what you're going to do. You're going to swap it with the person next to you. Give your phone to the person next to you, okay? Hand it over. I'm watching all of you. Hand it over. Okay, and then when you have that phone, put that phone in your pocket. Like this. Put it in there. Put it in. Who's feeling weird right now? Yeah? Who's feeling disconcerted? Who is doing something they shouldn't have been doing and now their neighbor has their phone? Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Okay, you can now give back your phones. You can hand them back. It's okay. Oh my goodness. Why is this so disconcerting? Why is this so weird? Well, we all know the answer. This guy's just freaking out. We all know the answer. It's because these phones, they have become part of us. They have become an extension of us. And who would have thought just 10 years ago that we would be in this place today, where we have more skin-to-skin contact with our devices than we do with our loved ones? That is unbelievable. But that's the reality for us, and definitely even more so for our children. And that change has taken place in the last decade. And so when we think about the next decade and the amazing changes and futures which are possible, I'm here to tell you that what we thought happened in the last decade was amazing. The next decade is going to be even bigger. We're still in the first minute of the first day of the internet revolution. So I want to talk to you guys about the future and this word that we use called change. Change is neither good nor bad. Change is just raw potential. It has the potential to topple massive companies and raise up brand new empires. That's what change is all about. And so hopefully, as a result of this conference and talking about embracing change, you will be the leaders of tomorrow, taking change to your organizations. I want to close the conference by talking about 2 technological changes very quickly that are going to affect all of your businesses tomorrow. And then I want to give you just one of the techniques or mindsets that we work with all these amazing companies like Netflix and Google and the Academy of Motion Pictures and Tesla and all these companies to help them adopt that change into their organization. Because it's one thing to know what's coming. It's a very different thing to actually take this change to your organizations, to have things take place. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah? Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to start with a story, and I want to know if you guys can relate to this. So I came home the other day, and I live in San Francisco. I came home after a long day's work, and my wife was waiting for me when I got home. We usually catch up about our days when we get home, but as soon as I walk in the door, she immediately jumps up and says, Pete, you have to look at this. Come look at this. And she hands me her phone. And she says, put that phone in your pocket. No, she didn't say that at all. She said, look at my phone and look what's on the screen. And I could see on the screen, and it was just her Instagram. And I start scrolling through it. I mean, what are you talking about, Kathleen? This is just your Instagram feed. She goes, no. Scroll back up. Look at the advert at the top here. And I looked at the advert, and it was an advert for baby onesies, like baby grows. Do you know what I mean? Like a onesie for a child. And she said, this proves it, Pete. My phone is listening to me. How else could it know that we're thinking about having a second child? Who else has had this feeling that their phone must be listening to them? Yes, me too. We live in a world today where machine learning-driven personalization has got to a point where it's almost a little creepy, where actually the predictive capabilities of machine learning have actually created a world in which we believe that our phones must be listening to us. Now, of course, that's not the case, we hope. But personalization is both a sometimes creepy thing, but it's also an amazing thing as well. And what we're going to see in the next, not 10 years, 20 years, but next 6 months, 12 months, 1 year, 2 years from now, and it's already starting today, is the next generation of personalization. And it's really important for businesses as they think about the products and services that they're creating to know about this technology, to know its capabilities, because it is just raw power. And in the wrong hands, it's a terrible thing. And in your right hands, the leaders of tomorrow, you can do amazing things with this technology. It's called hyper-micro-personalization. And it sounds like a mouthful, but let me break it down just for a second. I want you to imagine a world where, of course, you can walk into any store and everything is perfect for you. But imagine a world in which the food that you are eating has been hand-chosen for you, for your body type, your metabolism, the way that your body metabolizes food to maximize the nutritional impact for you and for you and for you. Imagine a world where your bed is just adjusting throughout the night to give you the perfect night's sleep. And imagine a world where your children are receiving personalized education programs based on their specific learning style, and they are learning like they've never been able to before. All of this is made possible right now with the next generation of personalization called advanced or hyper-micro-personalization. Hyper just refers to the number of different inputs, micro to the number of different ways that the end experience can be adjusted to meet the needs of that end user. If you were to pull out your phones again, and I won't ask you to do this, but if you all opened up an application and you all had that app on your phone today, it would all look the same. Everybody has the same experience. But what we see with this new technology is that everyone's experience can be adjusted to give them personally the best possible experience. That can happen at the user interface layer, but it can also happen at the functional layer as well. I'm going to give you some examples. So right now, Netflix have just developed their personalized communication system where every single word, image, icon, and color can be adjusted to best resonate with the person that they're interacting with. 23andMe, the DNA company, does everyone know this company, 23andMe? Yeah? Have just created their personalized healthcare programs that, based on your DNA, give you health action steps that you should take. Nestle have just released their advanced wellness program in Tokyo, which using a blood draw and a DNA test, they deliver to you personalized hand-picked food for your body type, your metabolism, to give you the best possible way of absorbing nutrients, and they even tell you what point in the day to eat it so that you maximize the health value to you and help you avoid specific diseases like diabetes. And then we see wearable devices which plug into meditation apps that give you personalized meditation experiences, the words, the sounds, the emotions that are being conveyed for you personally. All of these things exist today, and it's only getting faster and faster and faster. And so the question then becomes for us as businesses, what does this mean? What we see as kind of weird and kind of strange today becomes expectation tomorrow. Why would I not want my kids to have personalized education to help them learn? Why would I not want that? That is how people think. What starts as magical becomes expected. And when we think about consumers and the people that we're interacting with, this is what change is all about. We start at the very short tail here of innovation, and then what starts as novel becomes the expectation. And so for you in your businesses, when you think about what it is that you're creating, or rather what it is that your competitors might start to create, how is it that personalization can create the best possible user experience for those that you seek to serve? And as you think about empowering the users that you are working with, not using that technology for evil, but empowering them by giving them fantastic tooling, what is it that you could do with technology like that? Because it's coming, and either you're going to have it or your competitors will first, and that's a really big deal. The second trend I want to tell you about here is something a little different. So I want you to imagine just for a second that you're all about to head to this bar. We're about to close the conference, and probably you will, right? It's been a fantastic day, lots of head knowledge, but it's time for a drink, am I right? Yeah. Now I want you to imagine just for a second that these lovely bartenders here could pour you any drink. Like right now, I want you to imagine the drink that you want in your hand right now. Is it a beer? Is it a glass of rosé? Is it a glass of whiskey? Is it a cocktail? What do you want? And I want you to close your eyes just for a second. Do this with me. Close your eyes and then click your fingers and open your hands. Is the drink in your hand? No, it's not. Wouldn't that be amazing if that was possible? It is possible because we made it. And I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second. But we're living in this next technological age. This is all to do with seamless systems. Seamless systems basically is the reaction to the world that we've lived in for the last 20 years, where we've had this amazing diversity of choice. So the App Store and the web have created an environment where all of your companies can exist. And even if you all did the same thing, if everyone in this room was from 100 different companies, but you all did the same thing, chances are you're all going to survive, because consumers for the last 10, 20 years have loved this diversity of choice. If you went to the App Store today and searched for any business, let's say you wanted to search for photo books or something like this, you're not going to find just 40 examples of companies who are offering you photo books. You'll probably find more closely to 400 different companies who are all operating and giving you that service. And so for the last 20 years, with the lower barrier to entry with the App Store and the web, amazing businesses all over the world of all different shapes and sizes have sprung up, and they have coexisted alongside each other. But what we see today is that in our busy lives, consumers no longer like this idea of choice and having that freedom to go and choose between 20 different options. Who's experienced this? It's Friday night. Raise your hand if this is something you've experienced. It's Friday night. You go, you get home, and you put on Netflix, and you find yourself scrolling through Netflix for like 3 hours, which is longer than a movie, to try and find, yes, so many of you, me too. This is the world that we live in, where the amount of choice that we have actually now today is hindering us. And in reality, when Netflix just autoplay that video at you and you just think, oh, that's good enough, and you start watching it, that's the world that we live in today. And so this is the zag. We've zigged this way. And typically in the world of innovation, as the world zigs, we're watching for the zag, and the first people to zag tend to win. But in this reality, convenience, ease and simplicity of user experience is now what consumers are after. I want you to think about just for a second, if you were to organize dinner this weekend for your friends, how would you do that? Now, it sounds like a lot of fun, right? But I want you to kind of break down the number of steps that you're going to go through. You're going to probably pull out your phone, you're going to make a few calls, you'll send a few messages, you'll use WhatsApp, you'll go to Facebook Messenger because Tim likes to use Messenger and he's not on WhatsApp, and then you would use Google Maps, and then you would maybe use something like OpenTable or Yelp to try and find the restaurant, and then you're going to put it on the Google Calendar, and then you're going to use Uber to try and make sure that everyone gets there on time. The number of different steps you're going through, again, it's awesome, you're going out for dinner, congratulations, but it's a lot of work, really, in reality, to get something quite simple done, and that's just a very, very simple example. This is the world that we live in today, where there's loads and loads of endpoint solutions, But to give you just the first example, we work with all of the world's major operating systems. And the next generation of application development is actually called apps to APIs. Just to get a little bit technical, I'll try and keep it light for a second, but applications typically are closed environments. They live like little islands. They can't really interact with each other. What's happening now is that software developers are exposing what is called APIs. I'm sure most of you in the room know what that is. But basically an endpoint that an operating system can interact with the functionality of an app, and the operating system can do the stuff for you that you would have had to manually do before, like call you an Uber. So now that means that you can say to Siri, hey, Siri, order me an Uber, and that means that, that Siri can plug into Uber and do that for you. Now what we're seeing is the next generation of that, which is where the operating system can string all of these APIs together to do something for you. So you can say, Siri, or Alexa, or hey Google, organize me dinner this weekend. And if that sounds farcical and scientific, it's not. It's reality. We're working on building this right now for many of these companies, and it's amazing. It's magical, it's crazy, it's weird. You feel like your phone has been hijacked by somebody. It is just nuts. But when you see it taking place and the system is going back to you and asking you questions that helps improve the way that it's delivering it for you, you see how this becomes the future. Because if that can be done, that convenience can be given, you have the world's most powerful assistant in your pocket, that is how you will start to interact with these different services, not through apps, but through these APIs. But it's happening in every single industry. In transportation, you see Bell Helicopters developing their multimodal transportation, where they take you from a pod, from the sky to rail to the road, seamlessly from your home to wherever you want to go. We see Amazon shortening the time between you wanting something and having it in your home in 12 hours, in 4 hours, in 2 hours. We see all kinds of examples of these seamless systems. Marriott Hotels developing their end-to-end vacation experiences. They're no longer a hotel company, they're an end-to-end vacation experience. And the last example I want to give you is taking us right back to that question I asked us about the drink, is Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean, we developed with them Uber for mojitos. Literally, you can be on any part of the ship or any one of their magical islands, you can pull out your phone and say mojito, glass of wine. 2 minutes later or less, you will have a glass of wine in your hand. No matter where you are, no matter all the technical complexity happening behind the scenes, you don't care about that as a human being. All you care about is the magic of having a mojito in the palm of your hand within 2 minutes. It is unbelievable. But what is magical today will become expected tomorrow. And the customers that you have ultimately are going to make a choice between you and your competitors. And when you think about the service offering that you have, are you just an endpoint in that solution that requires many other things to get the job done? Or are you an end-to-end experience that ultimately gives them the amazing convenience of, I don't know, like I saw some water bottles out there. The future of water bottle companies aren't just handing you water bottles. It's helping you design the water bottle. It's delivering it to you. It's picking it up to recycle it for you. That kind is a bad example, but that kind of end-to-end convenience is the future of every company. And all of these examples that I could list, and there's more and more and more and more of them, you see it in every single industry. So what is the future of your industry? What is the future of your business? Change is afoot. Change is happening. The only constant in life is change. Therefore, the question that we are all asked is, are we ready to evolve with it? Are we going to be the ones at the tip of the spear who are leading that change for the next decade and creating businesses that thrive in that environment? Or will we be absolutely capsized by others rocketing past us? And that's, by the way, what startups do. I don't know how many startups are in the room, but they are very good at taking on big, slow organizations with amazing new technologies to deliver a far superior experience. What I want to do now in closing, And again, this is typically a 3-day seminar where I'll talk about the different mindsets that help enable change to take place. And I have about 3 minutes, I believe. So we're going to try and speak very quickly and condense this down into 3 minutes. And I'm going to talk about just one of the different techniques that you can use in your organization tomorrow morning to start thinking about what this kind of change means for us. Because I want to level with you guys for a second. I don't know if you are the CEO of an organization or if you started 6 weeks ago in your organization. Change is difficult, no matter who you are. To turn a ship from going this way to say this is the new horizon we should be aiming for is a difficult thing. You need to have the right tools, the right toolkits, the right people alongside you to make that happen. Luckily, you have amazing partners like Incentro who I'm sure can help make that happen with you. But the key is that you have to acknowledge that it takes real commitment and a change in mindset, a change in thinking. One of the things that I hear when I'm brought into boardrooms all over the world is typically a doctor is brought in because something is wrong with the patient. I'm typically brought in because something is wrong with the company. And there are definitely people who see the real need to innovate and to change, but these are some of the things I hear time and again. What do you mean? I mean, we should just keep improving what we've been doing for the last 5 years. We have a roadmap. We have a roadmap for the next 3 years just to keep doing slightly better what we've been doing for the last 5 years. Surely that's the way forward. Or I also hear, but we're 5 stars on the App Store. 5 stars on the App Store basically means you didn't screw up. Like 5 stars on the App Store, like someone's like, what do you want to rate us? 5 stars, get out of my way. Like if someone's giving you 4 stars, like that's a big deal. Like you really screwed up if someone's giving you 4 stars. But like this is what we hear in boardrooms, and it's the biggest mistake. If you think about Blockbuster, who remembers the company Blockbuster? Yeah? Think about Kodak just for a second. These companies weren't blindsided by change. They weren't blindsided by new technologies. They had more power than anybody to see the future. They just didn't have the right approach. They just decided to incrementally improve on what they've done for the last decade. This is what happens when big companies with their big size and their expertise start to slow down and become juggernauts and dinosaurs, and then zoo, someone just zips right past you, and then suddenly you're irrelevant. And so when we think about these tools, we try and give people tools to think about ways that if you're at the top, you stay at the top. And if you're at the bottom, you get to the top. That's the kind of tooling we try and give people. So I'm going to give you one. And it's called Root 10x Thinking. It's very, very simple. I want you to think about your business just for a second. Think about your business and what it does. And just try and think about, at its core, at the very core purpose of our business, what is our business do in the world? I'll give you an example, Royal Caribbean. I'll give you 2 examples, but Royal Caribbean is the company that we worked with. We help them apply Root 10x Thinking, and that is to go back to the very root. And for them, it's about creating magical vacation memories. That's it. If Royal Caribbean didn't exist, that is what wouldn't exist in the world, right? It's that at the core of what we do is about magical vacation memories. Everything else is in service of that. And so taking them back to that root, we then apply 10x thinking. What is the best possible way that we could deliver that for people? What is the best possible way? And by the way, these guys are the world's largest cruise company, but they know to stay at that point, they can't stop. They have to keep evolving and think about the best possible experience. And so what did we do? We took it's like a passport and immigration process to get on board these ships. If anyone's been on a cruise before, you'll know it takes about 3 hours to get on a boat. We said, we're going to get you from your car to the bar in 10 minutes. That is the best possible experience, right? Yeah? So we used facial recognition technology in service of that. You can just walk on and off the ship. Uber for mojitos, brand new VR experiences for shore excursions so you can see what it would be like to do the scuba diving experience before you've even gone and done the experience. We made touchscreen interactive displays throughout the ship. We made amazing immersive photo experiences throughout the ship. All of this stuff sounds amazing when we rolled it out over 2 years, and it's been incredibly successful for them, but it started in a room with a group of people applying Root 10x thinking about what is our core purpose in the world and how are we going to do that better than anybody else, because that's the only way that you will safeguard yourself against your competitors is to be the best service for people. It is to be the most connected, it is to be the most personalized, whatever that looks like for you in your industry. I'll give you one more example. This is a company that you might not have heard of. They're a company called Candid. Candid's core root purpose in the world is to give people straight teeth. I don't know how many of you who have had braces in your lifetime. I did. It's a very painful process. And they looked at the world of braces, and they looked at their root purpose, which is to give people straight teeth. And they looked at what the experience was today. You have to go in to have these appointments. They're very inconvenient. They're very long. They put metal in your mouth. It's very painful. It's there for about 12 to 18 months. You have to go in for regular checkups. It's unhygienic. All of these things. And they said, that's a terrible experience. But that is what 100% of the world experiences today, if that's what they want to have, braces on their teeth. And so what did they do? They said, right, we're going to have a world in which there are no specialists, where you can go in and have a simple scan with pretty much an untrained expert, and all they're really trained to do is take a 3D model of your teeth. We're going to apply machine learning to build a model of how those teeth should change over time. We're then going to 3D print these plastic molds of your teeth, split up into 20 different segments, deliver that to your home in an amazing Apple-like box so that you can have that in the convenience of your own home, and then just give you videos about how to use it, and then you can just do that incredibly simply. We're going to remove all the costs of all the specialists, all of the locations, all of the sessions that you have to have, and we're going to democratize this for everybody. And by the way, it's going to keep getting better because we're using machine learning. They have hugely, dramatically reduced the cost, not only for them, but for the end consumer. And they're taking North America by storm because it's just so much better. This was a little company a couple of years ago, and now everyone's like, you have metal in your mouth? That's unbelievable. What is magical today becomes expected tomorrow, and this is where it starts. It's the company who is able to get into a room at any level in that company, not only the core purpose of the company, but even the way that you do customer service. If you were just to apply Root 10x thinking just to the way that you do customer service, what is the role of customer service, and what is the best way to do that, you will set yourself apart from everybody else. So take that technique, take it back to your organizations, find your co-conspirators to do that alongside, and then start to work with the company to show them that vision. Now, we have many other techniques that we can show you over time, and I'm sure Incentro, again, can help you with much of this. But this is a starting point. It's not about technology. The future isn't just about blindly picking technology and applying it and hope that consumers love it. It's about envisaging that amazing future that you want for your consumers and then taking just small steps every single day towards that future, but remaining laser focused on that future. So, we've said the word future a lot. Hopefully that isn't just science fiction for you. Hopefully it's something which you can now apply practically in your organizations, because the question asked of every generation when change is here, change is afoot, and change being raw potential to take down companies and to raise up new ones is, what are you going to do in response? Thank you guys so much for your time. I've really loved being here with all of you. Thank you.